After being spring-locked in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, William Afton in the game lore will sit in the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza for 30 years as his body withers away inside the Spring Bonnie suit as he slowly becomes the monster known as Springtrap. But the question is, as he's been spring-locked, if there is no time jump in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie to the sequel, who will be the main villain? Will Springtrap be the main villain in the second movie? Well, guess what my answer is? I don't think so. I personally think that Springtrap is being kept for the third movie. I know that's a really hot take, but let me explain real quick. I personally think that Mangle will be the main threat or main villain of the second Fnaf movie. Let me explain. Now, personally, I feel like if they had the guts to change the likes of Michael Afton being not canon to this universe, a character so well known and so loved in the fan base, well, he's not in the film. Instead, it's Vanessa Afton. That is a huge twist in the tale of FNAF. So genuinely, who else thinks that they could actually just change the whole scenario, what's going on in this timeline? Are they gonna keep just Mike versus William or Vanessa versus William? What will they do in this next film? I personally think they're going to go with the FNAF 2 route, with Jeremy being one of the main characters alongside Mike as they go into the FNAF 2 location to where Mangle, a character who personally I think just holds as much of a threat as Springtrap, because if you didn't know, Mangle does the bite of 87, you know, it would make a lot of sense that if they want to have a cool event and, you know, please the fan base while also pleasing general audiences, it would be cool to have a sort of switch of pace and go straight horror for this one rather than being a little bit more tame than the first film. What if they want to go full horror rated movie with this next one? Not exactly R rated, but a more dark and dimmed down pizzeria like the second location, because in my opinion, the first Freddy Fazbear's location honestly looks like it could have been up and running. It didn't look that withered down at all in the FNAF movie, if you ask me. Yes, when the robbers and all came in, like Max and Max's brother and Hank and Carl, and they smashed up the place, obviously it made it look a bit more withered down. But if you ask me, I feel like the first Freddy Fazbear's location could have easily been up and running if they just did a paint job on the outskirts of the whole pizzeria. So what if there's a more run down version, for example the Junior's location of FNAF 2? What if that is where we're going to go in this second film, and that's where Mangle is going to basically just inhabit everything? And that makes me so excited. Now, personally, obviously, it's a massive prediction of why Mangle could be, you know, the main character, the main threat in the next movie. But if you're thinking, Cal, why would you want that? Why would I want Mangle to be the next villain? I know William Afton, it'd be awesome to obviously have him back as Springtrap, but what if it's just a little bit too early to bring in Springtrap? If they want a 3-movie deal, what if they just use, you know, Matthew Lillard saying he was signed for 3 movies? What if his second movie in the contract is just purely flashbacks to when he was just William Afton? Maybe we'll get to see him perform the acts he done regarding the incidents of the missing children. You just never know. And so, personally, why I think I would like Mangle to be the main villain of this next film is because, straight off the bat, Mangle is so threatening. If you watch any piece of content, even Mangle's jump scare, let's start with that. Mangle comes down and they literally come down from the ceiling and chomp on your head. Seems a little threatening if you ask me. And also, Mangle would be a huge surprise to see in this next film, because Mangle is such a popular animatronic. Mangle is really underrated. Like, that they are popular, but they are so underrated. Like, I don't see Mangle in a lot of people's top 5s, but personally they are definitely in a top 5 list when it comes to FNAF animatronics of danger, popularity, and ultimately just like the cool design they have. But another thing, it is so underestimated of how strong Mangle actually is. Mangle, oh my god, you have no idea what they could do with Mangle. Honestly, imagine the scenes of a vent kill in this movie. purely because of Mangle, because Mangle can literally wiggle themselves up into a little ball and move along the vents really fast. We've seen it in a couple of VHS tapes, which we're obviously not going to consider because it's not the same universe, of course, but Mangle definitely has the ability with all those animatronic parts to move themselves through vents really fast. We could get a horrifying scene of what Mangle could actually do to someone in those vents. And ultimately, if they include Mangle, we're getting the Bite of 87. We have to be getting the Bite of 87 if Mangle's in this movie, and especially if Mangle's the main threat. And personally, I think that just emphasizes how much possibility there actually is that Mangle could be one of the main threats in this film. And obviously, if they want to make a scary film, why not have Mangle? Mangle is one of the most terrifying animatronics in the entire franchise. It's simple as that. Obviously, there's some very, very scary animatronics, but Mangle, there's something so uncanny about Mangle's face. For me, there's so many things with Mangle that are just so uncanny, like the Funtime Foxy type face, but realistically, you know there's something sinister there, because when you see all those animatronic parts, literally, no pun intended, mangled together, it is so uncanny and uncomfortable. And could you imagine the movement of Mangle in a movie, of how they could just manipulate the body parts that they have on their body? It is crazy what potential they would have if they use Mangle in this next film. And ultimately, I feel like if they go for the FNAF 2 route in this film, why not use Mangle? Why not use the characters available to their full potential while using the Wizards, Mangle, and ultimately obviously the toys and the puppet? Why not use those characters to their full potential? And ultimately, if you ask me, the strongest animatronic out of all of those characters, or the most threatening when it comes to them, would be Mangle. I feel like Mangle would be the most threatening out of the lot of them. Personally, that is just my opinion of why I think Mangle would definitely work as the main villain in this next film. Let me know in the comments below what you would think if Mangle is announced to be the main character and there is no Afton. Would that annoy you? Would no Springtrap being in this film, maybe saving him for a post-credit scene, obviously setting up the trilogy, would you be annoyed with that? Would you be okay with waiting for the third film for Springtrap? Let me know in the comments below, because I know that would be the main source of information of what everyone would be thinking. Would they be okay with waiting for a third film? That is the question. And honestly, for me, probably not. If Mangle did get announced, I'd be kind of annoyed, but realistically, I'd be also really excited because I really like Mangle. But that is all for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all so much for the support on the last few videos. As always, it means so much to me. So as always, have an amazing day, stay safe, and peace. First shot of this episode. Tammy picks this house.
Oh, what about that one?
Now, if you ask me, that is the, worst house you can pick. It has wallpaper on the outside.